संभवम को वेदात स्वसंभवम अव्यक्तस्य प्रमेयस्य नाना शक्ति उदयस्य च न वै चिकीर्षितं तात को वेदात स्वसंभवम् Avyaktasya, of the unmanifested, aprameyasya, of the transcendence, nana, various, shakti, energies, udayasya, of him who gives rise to, cha, also, na, never, why, certainly, chikirshitam, the plan, tata, my dear boy, kaha, who, veda, can know, atha, therefore, swa, own, sambhavam, origin. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The absolute true transcendence is never subject to the understanding of the imperfect sensory endeavor, nor is he subject to direct experience. He is the master of varieties of energy, like full material energy. No one can understand his plans or actions. Therefore, it should be concluded that although he is the original cause of all causes, no one can know him by mental speculation. Purport. The question may be raised, since there are so many varieties of philosophers theorizing in different ways, which of them is correct? The answer is that the absolute true transcendence is never subject to direct experience or mental speculation. The mental speculator may be called Dr. Frog. The story is that a frog in a 3-foot well wanted to calculate the length and breadth of the Atlantic Ocean on the basis of his knowledge of his own well. But it was an impossible task for Dr. Frog. A person may be a great academician, scholar, or professor, but he cannot speculate and expect to understand the absolute truth, for his senses are limited. The cause of all causes, the absolute truth, can be known from the absolute truth himself and not by our ascending process to reach him. When the sun is not visible at night, or when it is covered by a cloud in the day, it is not possible to uncover it either by bodily or mental strength or by scientific instruments, although the sun is there in the sky. No one can say that he has discovered a torchlight so powerful that if one goes on a roof and focuses the torchlight on the night sky, the sun will then be seen. There is no such torchlight, nor is it possible. The word avyakta, unmanifested, in this verse indicates that the absolute truth cannot be manifested by any of strain of so-called scientific advancement of knowledge. Transcendence is not the subject matter of direct experience. The absolute truth may be known in the same way as the sun covered by the cloud or covered by night. For when the sun rises in the morning in its own way, then everyone can see the sun, everyone can see the world, and everyone can see himself. This understanding of self-realization is called Atma Tattva. Unless, however, one comes to this point of understanding Atma Tattva, one remains in the darkness in which he was born. Under the circumstances, no one can understand the plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is equipped with varieties of energies, as stated in the Vedic literature, Parasya Shaktir Vividaiva Shruyate. He is equipped with the energy of eternal time. Not only does he have the material energy which we see and experience, but he has also many reserve energies that he can manifest in due course of time when necessary. The material scientist can simply study the partial understanding of varieties of energies. He can take up one of the energies and try to understand it with limited knowledge, but still it is not possible to understand the absolute truth in full by dint of material science. No material scientist can foretell what is going to happen in future. The Bhakti Yoga process, however, is completely different from the so-called scientific advancement of knowledge. A devotee completely surrenders unto the Supreme, who reveals himself by his causeless mercy. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, the Lord says, I give him intelligence. What is that intelligence? Yena Mam Upayanti Te. The Lord gives one the intelligence to cross over the ocean of nescience and come back home back to Godhead. In conclusion, The cause of all causes, the absolute truth, or the supreme Brahman, cannot be understood by philosophical speculation, but he reveals himself to his devotee because the devotee fully surrenders onto his lotus feet. Bhagavad Gita is therefore to be accepted as a revealed scripture spoken by the Absolute Truth himself when he descended to this planet. If any intelligent man wants to know what God is, he should study this transcendental literature under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Then it is very easy to understand Krishna as he is. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sugana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. The absolute truth, transcendence, is never subject to the understanding of imperfect sensory endeavor, nor is he subject to direct experience. He is the master of varieties of energies, like the full material energy. No one can understand his plans or actions. Therefore, it should be concluded that although he is the original cause of all causes, no one can know him by mental speculation. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Deenatharinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Swayambhuva Manu advises Dhruva Maharaj. So the anger, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki jai. So the anger of Dhruva Maharaj has become a universal crisis problem. So much so that Swayambhuva Manu personally appears on the scene and is desperately trying to pacify Dhruva. So Swayambhu Manu is telling Dhruva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by his inconceivable supreme energy, time, causes the interaction of the three modes of material nature, and thus the varieties of energy become manifest. It appears that he is acting, but he is not the actor. He is killing, but he is not the killer. Thus, it is understood that only by his inconceivable power is everything happening. In other words, Swayambhu Manu is trying to pacify Dhruva Maharaj by telling him that whatever is happening only because of the inconceivable power of the Supreme Lord. In other words, Swayambhu Manu is asking, what is the justification for you to kill even one single yaksha? Forget about hundreds of them. What is the justification for you to kill even one single yaksha, whereas in reality it is to be understood that only by his inconceivable power is everything happening. It is only by the inconceivable power of the Supreme Lord that anything happens in this material world. So how can you, my dear child, justify the act of killing the yakshas or holding them responsible for the death of your brother? They are repeatedly, Swayambhu Manu, repeatedly invoking the name of Supreme Personality of Godhead in order to pacify Dhruva, because they are aware, Swayambhu Manu and other great sages are aware, personalities are aware, that if anything can pacify and, shall we say, bring Dhruva Maharaj back to his normal self, it is possible only by invoking the name of the Supreme Personality, because Dhruva Maharaj is an ardent, very, very serious devotee of the Supreme Personality. It's interesting to note that practically in every single verse that Swayambhu Manu speaks, he invokes the name of the Supreme Personality. The very first verse not the very first verse, I'm speaking about verse number 16. It is simply by the illusory material energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the three modes of nature that the creation, maintenance, and annihilation takes place. Paramatmanaha. So here it is, we see he's invoking the name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the greatness, the power, and the fact that nothing happens in this material world without the express sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then in the next verse, 17th verse, we again see Swayambhu Manu again invoking the name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It says, my dear Dhruva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is uncontaminated by material modes of nature. Yet he is the remote cause of the creation, material manifestation, etc. When he gives impetus, many other causes and effects are produced. The whole universe moves just as iron moves by the integrated force of a magnet. So yet again they're saying that whatever may be the event that has happened, please don't forget that it has the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So whom are you questioning? Whom are you fighting against? Whom are you rebelling against? Indirectly, are you not rebelling against an act perpetrated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, directly or indirectly, whatever? But nothing can happen without. So philosophically, Manu is trying to establish to Dhruva Maharaj, whatever has happened with the knowledge of the Lord, with the cognizance of the Lord, with the awareness of the Lord, and with the sanction of the Lord. So why are you so upset? And in your act of being upset, you're killing so many yakshas. In other words, you're challenging, you're being defiant to an act which was directly or indirectly caused by the cognizance and sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whom are you trying to oppose, my dear child? Yet again in verse number 18, it says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his inconceivable supreme energy, time, causes interactions of the three modes. Actually, they're just sticking to this. The Swayambhu Manu is sticking to this theme. Interaction of three modes of nature, it cannot happen without the sanction, awareness, and cognizance of the Lord. And this is the direct or manifest cost for any other action, any other changes or anything that happens in the material world. So, without the sanction of the Supreme Lord, nothing can happen. So, what are you protesting against? Why are you becoming so violent? Are you not, is your violence and etc. not in any way, isn't it challenging the will of the Lord, the sanction of the Lord? My dear Dhruva, like that, because they know that if anything can wake up, or shall we say, change the heart of Dhruva from his state of anger, it is by invoking, because the Dhruva Maharaj, at no point of time, being such a wonderful devotee of the Lord, will challenge, would like to be seen as challenging the Lord, would like to be seen as challenging the will of Dhruva Maharaj, would not want such a thing to happen. So they're repeatedly trying, how is it that you're forgetting that the Lord is there, the Lord's sanction is there, Lord's will is there, Lord's permission is there, Lord is aware of what has happened. How is it that you're challenging such an act and you're becoming so violent? Are you not aware? Have you forgotten for some reason that it has the sanction of the Lord? And what about, so that is why they say the mode of anger is little dangerous, because it can anger, greed and lust. These are three gateways to hell. Three gateways to total destruction of personality, of character, of values, etc. Anger, greed and lust. So here we can see that they are invoking and they are hoping that will force Dhruva Maharaj to introspect a little bit and then come to his senses and refrain from acting in a violent manner against the yakshas. Because Dhruva becomes so ferocious in his behavior that it is becoming a then again in the verse number 19, once again Manu is saying, the Supreme God, personality of God is ever existing, but in the form of time. He is the killer of everything. Finally, they come to the crux and they say that so ananto antakaraha kalo. Antakaraha means, you see, antahkaraha, annihilator. So the Lord is ever existing, but in the form of time. He is the killer of everything. He has no beginning, although he is the beginning of everything. Nor is he ever exhaustible, although everything is exhausted. The living entities are created through the agency of Father and killed through the agency of death. But he is perpetually, whatever, in another place it is mentioned that killed by the agency of time, which is an energy of the Lord. So here, Manu is going to the extent of telling Dhruva directly that Baba, here, he is ever existing in the form of, he is a killer of everything, annihilator. This is happening as per the plan of the Lord. The Lord is the supreme annihilator. For some reason of karma, of whatever it may be, the Lord has a plan. So Dhruva has to accept the reality that whatever has happened by the will, by the sanction, by the permission of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And there is no point in lamenting over what has happened. We have to learn lessons from what has happened, because whatever happens, the Lord has a purpose. Either there is some kind of balancing of karma that happens at a universal level or at an individual level, balancing of karma, giving out the karma that one is due to experience, or at a personal level, at a societal level, at the universal level. So, or as per Kala time, the time of annihilation has come, or something like that. But nevertheless, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the cause of all causes. He is the cause behind all other apparent secondary causes. The primary cause is the Supreme Personality of Godhead's will, Ichcha. So, directly now Swayambhu Manu is telling Dhruva What are you doing? You must be aware, you must know that this death has happened primarily because of the will of the Lord. Will of the Lord. So they are repeatedly reminding Dhruva Maharaj that this is the will of the Lord. The Lord wanted it, and hence it happened this way. And why are you lamenting? Why are you attacking? Why are you so angry? Why are you why is the mood of revenge entered into your mind and heart? Rather, you should introspect and see what is it that the Lord wanted, what is the message the Lord is trying to convey by his act of whatever, Uttama was killed. What is it? What purpose? Rather, you should spend your time introspecting, trying to understand why whatever happened, why it happened, rather than rebelling against it, challenging it, and attacking. Well, there will be wars at times, but that war has to be sanctioned by a guru, sadhu and shastra, or by the Supreme Personality of God personally when he was present. There will be war, there will be punishment, there will be other things that happen, but they have to be sanctioned by a guru. You cannot take it upon yourself that this is what you will do and do such things in defiance of the plan of the Lord. So, he is the beginning, everything, and he is never exhausted. He is the beginning, he is there at all points of time, everywhere, at all decisions. The Lord is present, so why are you acting like this? Through the agency of death, he removes, an agency of death or time is necessary, because everything in this world is kind of cyclic. It is born, it grows, develops, stays, and then cyclic. It ends, and then again it's reborn. Cyclic means it's end. Death is not the end. It is again reborn or reappears for a purpose again. It is not that it is a hopeless exercise in futility. No, there is a purpose. The purpose, if you ask the Vedic scriptures, they will reveal Atato Brahma Jignasa. Atato Brahma Jignasa means the purpose is to force the living entity to ask these questions. Why is this happening? Why is this so cyclic? What is the purpose of life? What am I here for? What is my relationship? What is the meaning of karma, etc.? So, the purpose is to Atato Brahma Jigyasa, to ask these questions and find suitable answers. And then again, the answers are also in the scripture. And live in a mode of knowledge, not live in a mode of ignorance. So that is the purpose. But of course, in the life of a pure devotee, the Lord may act out of various other considerations. Like so many things happened, so many reverses seem to happen in the life of the Pandavas. But then you see, that is all meant for a particular purpose, particular reason. I mean, so much so that the Lord's own consort one time got kidnapped. Mother Sita got kidnapped by Ravana. So can we say that the Lord could not protect his consort? No, there was a purpose behind. There was a reason behind. There was a plan. There was a plan of the Lord to see that Ravana becomes implicated in that karma, and then thereby there is a need to punish Ravana in the manner in which he was punished by Lord Rama. So there is a plan. So they are repeatedly trying to, the Swayambhu Manu is trying to remind Dhruva that you can't be like this. Understand that Lord has a plan. He is time. He is the destroyer. He is a maintainer. He is the annihilator. He kills. Antaha, everything has to come to an end as per the plan of the Lord. Then again in verse number 20 also it is said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his feature as eternal time is present in the material world. And then he also says, Swayambhu Manusans, and is neutral towards everyone. Lord is present. Don't think that he is absent even for a fraction of a second in this world. He is ever present. He is not exhausted. He is not exhaustible. He is present and he acts as in the form of time, and this time is neutral to everyone. The time is not partial. Time is neutral to everyone. Generally speaking, of course, time has a different meaning for the devotees. and no one is his ally, nor is anyone his enemy. In other words, see, we have to come to one point. The point that is being made repeatedly is that the thinking process of a devotee is completely different from that of an ordinary materialist. The thinking process of a devotee is always, whatever the Lord has done, He has a plan, He has a purpose. We have to respect that, we have to accept that, and we can't rebel against it. We can't, whatever has happened has been done by the Lord personally. He knows why He has done. He knows what is the purpose, He knows, etc. And the Lord is acting neutrally. In the sense that Lord is not acting out of a, Lord is, you may have lamentation, anger, etc. Anger, lamentation, anger, revenge, envy, etc. But the Lord cannot be held guilty of having any such emotion. Not that. Lord, the only emotion the Lord has is love. The only emotion that the Lord has is compassion, love, forgiveness, etc. Of course, the Lord has a compulsion to establish dharma. But even establishment of dharma, the Lord will do in a very, very compassionate manner. So we cannot question. So the mood and attitude of a devotee is that he will unquestioningly accept anything that happens in his life as that of the will of the Lord and something that he deserves. He will not rebel. He will not rebel. He will not fight against it. Rather, it is said that he will also recognize that whatever is happening in his life is only a fraction of what miseries or tribulations he was supposed to undergo. Only a fraction of what he is supposed to undergo. And so, the devotee will always recognize the compassionate touch of the Lord. And he is ever grateful to the Lord that it is said that in case you are supposed to lose an arm, all that will happen is maybe a small cut on your finger. Prabhupada directly mentions this. That is the extent to which the Lord interferes in manipulating the karma of a devotee. He reduces it. So where is the question of rebelling or challenging what is happening in a devotee's life? Rather, the devotee becomes, so the word transcendence is used. Rather, the devotee becomes transcendental. He says, what can I do? Materially, different things will happen as per the will of the Lord. My only desire is to cooperate with the will of the Lord, not challenge the will of the Lord. Accept whatever is happening as the supreme will of the Lord for my benefit, as He is my benefactor, He is my well-wisher, Suradam Sarva Bhutanam. So as long as I am under the shelter of the Lord, I don't really have to worry about any material changes that may happen in my life. As long as I am at the lotus feet of the Lord. This is the mood of a devotee. Doesn't matter. What can I do? As per Kala Karma, maybe some loss is there, maybe sometimes gain is there, maybe some misery is there. Different things may happen. But all this is a plan of the Lord. Actually, there's a conversation, similar conversation between Bhima, Draupadi on one side and Yudhishthira on the other side. When they're suffering in the forest. After being banished, after Yudhishthira loses the game of dice. So, one time, Draupadi and Bhima are very, very, you could say Rajasic in one sense. I mean, they're all pure devotees also, but they act like that. So they challenge Yudhishthira. At one time, their frustration becomes so much that they question Yudhishthira and his wisdom and his judgment. They question Yudhishthira and say, why did you accept this outcome? Don't you know Shakuni was cheating? Shakuni was deceived us. Shakuni cheated us. Shakuni betrayed. He broke the rules of the game by being unfair. Why did you have to accept? Now see what's happened. We are in the forest, but they're enjoying the kingdom. It's all because you. And they even say, maybe you have this desire to become famous as a very dharmic person or something. So because of your personal desire, you're forcing us to undergo all this. Actually, it's a very, what shall I say, interesting conversation that happens. They repeatedly question Yudhishthira. Bhima says, you're not giving me permission. If you were to give me permission, I alone am enough. I will go and break Duryodhana's thigh as per my promise. I'll throw them out of Hastinapura. I'll chase them out and we will recapture the throne, etc. Bhima will say. And Draupadi will say, look at my hair. It's open. I'm not tied. I also have, what is it? So much injustice was heaped upon me, and you didn't do anything at that point of time. Is this what is dharma, etc., etc.? Both of them will challenge Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira will say something similar to what we are reading. He says, how is it that you are forgetting, my dear brother and my dear wife? How is it you are forgetting that whatever happens is happening as per the will of the Lord, as per the plan of the Lord? We as devotees have no other option but to cooperate with the will of the Lord, not rebel against the will of the Lord. For some reason, which the Lord may choose to reveal later on, He is engaging us as instruments. We have to accept that. And there is no question of rebelling against it, because we are all duty bound to follow the instructions of the elders. It is not that Dhritarashtra did not know that Shakuni was cheating, but he kept quiet. He allowed it to happen. So we cannot challenge. This is not proper etiquette that we challenge Dhritarashtra in that manner. And so opening the gates for many future generation of kings and others to become rebellious against the elders. This is not the kind of society that I want to make. I want to make a society that is that cooperates with the elders, like that. Yudhishthira goes on justifying, and finally both Draupadi and Bhima become convinced, and they say that what can we do? Maybe this is what the Lord wants, and so be it. We should cooperate. We cannot challenge. So Yudhishthira is able to, in his wise counsel, apply his wise counsel, and then pacify. So here, Swayambhuva Manu is trying to pacify. But the interesting thing is, even the act of pacification is done by invoking the Lord as the supreme controller, as the supreme. And repeatedly it is said, especially in today's verse, maybe we cannot understand the plan of the Lord completely. From a material point of view, this is what happens. Materially, if you want to know, why should my brother die? Why did he have to die? Why did they have to kill him? He just, after all, went for a hunt or something like that. So, Swayambhu Manu mentions in today's verse, he says, that how do you know what the plan of the Lord is? How can you understand? Even if you were to speculate or whatever, you can only understand a part of the plan of the Lord, not completely. Because the plan of the Lord is revealed only to one who surrenders to the Lord, not who questions defiantly, defies the authority of the Lord. Why is the Lord obligated to tell what is His plan to somebody who's openly challenging Him or defying His authority or very dissenting? Why should the Lord tell? The Lord will reveal it only. Lord will reveal it only to such of those who surrender to Guru and Krishna. To such people, the plan of the Lord is revealed. So finally, in order to pacify Dhruva, Manu even says that you cannot demand, you cannot, out of anger and frustration and a mood of revenge, go and demand, why did this happen to my brother and why not to somebody else and why this was allowed to happen, etc. Because you don't know what the plan of the Lord is. None of us know. The Lord's plan gets revealed sometimes in installments, little by little. So, best is to be patient. This is one great quality of a devotee. Devotee is patient and never act in haste. He says, let's see what the plan of the Lord is. Let's see what the Lord wants. He will reveal it. Definitely, He will reveal it slowly. So, sometimes we get frustrated. We go to different senior devotees and then present our problem and we expect some instantaneous solution. What we should do, what we should. Sometimes it becomes very frustrating because the devotees will say, they say that, I don't know, we'll have to wait and see what the plan of the Lord is. Be patient, let's see. Krishna will reveal what is the right way to act. Especially in case of devotees who are having dispute among themselves, the senior devotees will advise patience and restraint. Restraint means don't act hastily. Don't, that for every step that the other person does, you don't have to respond, you don't have to reciprocate, you don't have to angrily show your expertise in English or something and write some nonsense. This is what happens sometimes in WhatsApp and internet triggered battles. Everybody is trigger happy. Somebody writes, 100 people respond. So, senior Vaishnavas who are very mature and who have seen the plan of the Lord, he said, relax, be patient, wait, we'll see what the plan of the Lord is. Let tempers cool down, then you respond. Don't respond immediately, instantaneously. Like how Dhruva Maharaj is responding. As soon as he heard that one yaksha killed, he went and started attacking all the yakshas. So, patient, then the Lord will reveal. By the way, Yudhishthira tells Bhima and Draupadi, patience. Do you know what the plan of the Lord is? Do you know what he wants to achieve? You don't know, so why are you commenting? Why can't we just be patient? Can't we at least be patient? Don't we have even that much trust on Krishna? On time, on destiny, on Krishna? Do you have doubt that people who follow dharma will have to eternally suffer? No, that's not going to happen. That's not the kind of world the Lord wants to make. We have to be patient. We can't jump like this, they say in English, like a cat on a hot tin roof. The cat will jump if it's on a tin roof which is hot. It can't stay. So we don't have to do. That's passionate reaction. No, that is not the quality of a devotee. Devotee is patient. Devotee is wise. Devotee introspects. Devotee thinks. But that does not mean devotee is weak. Devotee is strong because he has faith in Krishna. That cannot be misconstrued to say that devotee is very weak or something like that. So, we have to allow the Lord's plan to unfold. So, Yudhishthira will advise Bhima and Draupadi, be patient. Whatever the Lord does, he knows what he is doing. Whatever the Lord does eventually will turn out in favor of the devotees. One need not lament so much, or we need not brood over everything that's happening. Let it happen. Eventually we'll see what happens. Eventually one will get to see. So we see eventually even when Lord Balaram comes and interferes towards the end of the Mahabharata Kurukshetra war, Krishna keeps him away. He says, no. When the battle happened, you went away. Now you don't come towards the end of the battle and interfere. So even Balaram was kept at bay by Lord Krishna. That is how expertly the Lord manages. So we have to be patient. So that's the message being given to Dhruva in this series of shlokas. But what is very nice is that what is very reassuring is that time and again it is how Manu is again it reveals Manu as a nice devotee who says that we are also lamenting the death of your brother. We feel it was not fair or whatever. But what can we do? We have to wait. We have to think carefully. We have to introspect. We have to be cautious. We can't jump. We can't act like that. A devotee doesn't act. There's no need for a devotee to respond to everything that happens instantaneously and radically. No. Be patient, think, reflect, introspect, pray to Krishna, pray, verify with other devotees, and then respond. Until then, wait. I mean, at least give time for the Lord's plan or whatever. We can't act in a haste. Acting in haste is done when one is angry, when is lusty, when is full of envy. Anger, lust, envy. They don't wait. They take things into their own hands and act. So this was a classic case of Dhruva Maharaj becoming angry and forgetting all other aspects of what shall I say? All other aspects of principles by which this universal cosmic creation works. Actually, there's only one principle, not many. The one and only principle is it runs as per the will of the Lord. It's the will of the Lord that's playing out everywhere all the time. The Lord is always present. That's what Swayambhu Manu says. So, how can you question? How dare you? I mean, how can you question? How can you rebel? How can you dissent against? You're really not taking revenge against the people who killed your brother. You're actually trying to attack the Lord and His plan. You're questioning the Lord and His plan. And that's not for devotees to do. So that is the kind of message that is being sent to Dhruva Maharaj by Manu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Thank you very much. Any questions? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रमान श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन